Hi guys, I'm Maxi and this is AMG Expert Talk. This is our new format where we want to present current and upcoming innovations of Mercedes-AMG. AMG takes a lot of their inspiration and ideas from the world of racing, so we will show you where all this innovation comes from. And we show you the huge advantages and benefits for all of you drivers and vehicles of Mercedes-AMG's performance cars. Nevertheless, AMG Experts Talk will focus on innovative technologies that are already trend-setting or will be shortly. We'll be accompanied by a round of experts from Mercedes-AMG who will explain their topics in a precise, concise and clear manner. When it comes to aerodynamics, there's none better to talk with than Dr. Gustavo Estrada, the technical lead of aerodynamics at Mercedes-AMG. Hello, good to have you here.
Hi Maxi, thanks for having me here today.
You developed already the interactive rear spoiler on road cars like the GT 4-door coupe, or you patented the active front diffuser of the GTR, and you also had the idea of using active cooling air shutters for the improvement of driving dynamics. So you're transforming racing technology into serial models.
First of all, it's not only me, it's very motivated people in the aerodynamic team, and the way that we work in AMG allows us to fulfill this dream of having these crazy ideas and to see that at the end on the road under certification.
Talking about the Black Series here, our beauty, what makes it so special in an aerodynamic point of view?
We have reach the goal of improving ourselves even more. Our zero is the GTR Pro that had already a Nürburgring record lap time. And we have more or less 2 years to reduce this lap time with almost the same car.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a favorite aero feature?
From the aerodynamic point of view, we love the car as a whole. The interaction between all the features, the shape of the car, the active features on the front, the diffuser, braking, cooling, underbody. So it's a construct of the whole vehicle.
Okay, it's really special and we have so many features here. What do you say? Let's have a look at the fronts. The fascia is completely redesigned. There's this huge big air inlets.
It's big. But it's smaller than the GTR. Talking about the efficiency, even with a smaller inlet, by rotating the cooling system and the whole air management there, we have 40% more air through this inlet.
Can you give me a relation? So how much air gets inside?
No, imagine there by Vmax, we are getting around 7 cubic meters a second. But this is the air that we require for the engine, for the heat that we produce and for the cooling, for the whole cooling system.
So if I were a Streamline, I would appreciate this, right?
If you were a Streamline, you wouldn't like it. It would be an experience for sure, but imagine you go through the course, after that is waiting for you a 1 kilowatt lifter. It's going to make you dizzy and you will be redirected, and if you are very lucky, you are exited on the bonnet, left or right, and washing the A-pillars and going behind the wing to the wake of the car. Mm-hmm. But that's the lucky Streamline. The neighbor Streamline is going to be redirected to the engine compartment. Our colleagues, they have done a huge engineer master class here, and the air is getting into the engine, and of course is waiting for you the turbochargers, and they are not very cold.
Sounds like a good party.
Yeah, that sounds good. So you will take this heat away and you will get into the tunnel of the car and the frontal, and after that the underbody under pressure is going to be sucking you, pushing you outside. But this is not the end, because the underbody is more with the bigger panels. We need to have openings in the middle where the torque tube is, where you must have it because it's 7 cubic meters. They need to be reacted somehow, and you will get into the panels. After that, you will get twisted by the fins that we have on the underbody. When you think it's done, maybe you go to the exhaust system where you need to reject this heat, and if not, you will go into the diffuser where you're going to be twisted again and be sucked from the wing concept. So
you created a roller coaster?
Yeah, for this poor Streamline, yes. He will have fun, but for sure it's a very complex flow that we need to manage.
Aerodynamics is, correct me if I'm wrong, an interplay of lift, or in this case, of course, downforce, because we are talking of a racing car here, and air resistance. I think this is called aero efficiency, right?
Yeah, so the ratio, yeah.
How do you get the balance?
We have developed special features to have a reduced amount of drag for the amount of downforce that we create.
Yes, and one special feature is the extendable front splitter, right?
Yeah, that's for sure one very special feature. Active elastic devices that they change the shape based on the pressure that we have, that they reach on the underbody.
So what is it good for?
We need to press the car on the front, but without lifting the rear. That's a typical problem that these cars have. Yeah. So you have a device on the front to reduce the lift or increase the downforce, but losing downforce on the rear and increasing your drag. Mm-hmm. And this is exactly the opposite of that.
Ah, okay,
we
got it.
increase the downforce on the front. Mm-hmm. By higher speed, we produce more under pressure. Venturi takes care of that, and after that, the deformation of the front diffuse is bigger, so we even speed up the flow underneath the car even more, reducing the drag and not lifting the car on the rear. So that makes a concept without any kind of mechanic, hydraulic or electrical system. The system works alone. You just need to deploy it, and the rest will be done by the air.
Okay. Let's go to the back of the car, because here I see something which naturally catches the eye. I mean, we are talking now about a two-piece rear wing right now, which is kind of special, right?
Yeah, it is special. The front diffuser that we have mentioned and many other features must be compensated with a wing concept. And this concept is really made of two blades, and we have here very laminar flow. So with this laminar flow, we reduce the drag penalty by choosing a special profile of the wing. And with very small angles, up to 15 degrees, we can have a range of more than 250 kilos that we can vary, that we can change on the rear without losing front. We give the driver the opportunity to fix the rear as he wants. And on top, we have given an electric flap on the upper wing that allows us, when we need it, to increase the downforce on the rear and have even more rear stability, of course with a drag penalty, but this is what we use also when we want to reduce the brake distance. We deploy the flap to reduce the braking distance.
Can they be operated manually or automatically?
It works automatically. You can also drive it manually. After 250 kph, the flap will just stall because the car knows I'm trying here to be fast.
So it makes totally sense to have this large flap there on the wing blades.
Yeah, it's for sure the right position, and talks about the efficiency of the system. Yeah, it's a very thin profile with less drag penalty without a gurney. And that, from an aerodynamic point of view, is really a challenge, because a gurney always works, but you must pay a higher price in drag.
You know what I like, especially these beautiful pillars.
This has a history, because the whole forces of the wing, and we're talking about hundreds from kilos, they are applied on the structure of the vehicle. And what we want to increase the efficiency, because we don't want to rotate the flap or the wing too much. That's why as we open up, we make these pillars wider, allows us to reduce 5 degrees less angle by the same amount of downforce with a less drag penalty.
Is it true that the wing blades also help during braking?
Yeah, they help during braking. We have applied this know-how that we have in our series cars, that, for example, the GT 4-doors, where we have already worked, we know the blade, but we have worked with spoilers in different positions depending on driving mode.
And of course, the rear wings, they provide a strong downforce, which has to be balanced once again at the front of the car, right?
Yes, for sure.
So many people don't realize that the shape of the chassis also affects the aerodynamics, and with this, the handling of the car, right?
Yes, for sure. The shape of the chassis is, from an aerodynamic point of view, a really challenge, because you have such proportions, and it's not secret that we have here more or less 2-meter long wing that is producing lift. And we need to correct that lift into 200 kilos downforce.
I really like this part here.
There are many topics that we work here on the side of the car. One of it is, for example, what you see from the front, very clean shape, that is the integrated air curtains, controlling the flow in front of the wing. But this interacts with dive planes and with gurneys here in front of the wheel. So we close the flow in front of the wing, but after that, the vortex that we generate here from the dive plane is creating an under pressure and sucking the air and increasing here the clearing of the brakes.
So tell me, how does the body shape of the Black Series compare now to other vehicles of Mercedes-Benz?
We are not allowed to compare the absolute drag value of this vehicle with, for example, with the CLA or with our C-Class. No, we need always be comparing the amount of downforce that we produce with this penalty in drag.
So the electric flap on the rear wings of the GT Black Series provides downforce, but what does it have in common with the spoiler of the GT 4-door coupe, for example?
A spoiler, a wing and a flap, so what is in common? So what we transfer here is the know-how that we gain in this series car by the development of the rear spoiler. As you see here, when we increase the speed, the downforce will be increased to have the right amount of downforce to reach Vmax faster, because we have enough power in the engine to reach Vmax. So the spoiler, the know-how that we gain here is how driving dynamics works with the right amount of downforce when it's needed. And this transfer between driving dynamics and aerodynamics makes possible to develop such a concept. And this know-how, with the know-how that we got from the racetrack, from our race cars, we combine those two words and we adapt it on this wing system concept that we have on the Black Series.
The expandable front splitter is so unique. Can you do a deep dive here?
Yes, for sure. There is further development of our GTR front diffuser that we have already developed. And it was necessary to increase the amount of downforce. And we have reached that by increasing the surface. We got rid of every kind of electrical, mechanical, hydraulic system. They're very heavy. We only work with a movement we deployed by pushing the front splitter in street modus. We deployed for the race, and the splitter again turns to be a front diffuser. This front diffuser deforms itself, elastic, and takes the right position depending on the driving speed that you are driving.
It deforms?
Deforms
so
itself.
Is there any limits?
Yeah, the limit is the road. We know that from our race cars that we hit the ground, and in this case we can also do that, and the lower part of the front diffuser that we stowed and come back again to the same position. That means no damage on this part, and that allows us a very robust system with the whole flexibility that we need.
You really seem to be proud and passionate about this feature.
We managed here to increase 270% more downforce than the GTR Pro, and by only a penalty of 4.1 kilograms extra weight. And even better, because the more that the deformation is done because of this Venturi effect, we reduce the drag by higher speeds.
Do you find this feature also at other automotive brands?
No, this is a patented idea that we have developed of our old patented underbody front diffuser.
Gustavo, thank you so much for being with us today. I learned pretty much, and I'm quite sure so did the audience. So guys, this was our first AMG Experts Talk, but it wasn't the last. So take care and watch also our next episodes. Gustavo, you know what? I have the key to this car. Let's go for a ride?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay, I'm driving.
Oh.
Yes, of course.